Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. About a week or so ago, I posted my first ever review of a role-playing game, and I've said I was going to try to do more of that here in 2015 and theoretically in the years to follow. And so, here we go. I got some pretty good response for that one, and now I'm going to go ahead and give you another review of a role-playing game. I hopefully won't be as long-winded as the last one, but I can't promise anything. The game I'm going to show you, it's going to be an adventure. Now, I have some other systems that I got the rule books to that I'm reading that I'm going to do. But right now I'm firmly still in the whole Pathfinder world because of the fact that I understand the Pathfinder world and I've played in it a lot. So I'm going to go forward, and hopefully that you, if you're watching this, you've at least played Dungeons & Dragons. Frankly, I've read the rules for 5th edition. I haven't played it, but I've played all the editions of Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm talking literally go back to the 1970s. And I played all of those. I have the books for 5th edition, though I haven't played it. And I've played countless other role-playing games as well, outside of Dungeons & Dragons, including Pathfinder, which this adventure that I'm going to be showing you here shortly is based in. Like, I played, Deadlands, Shadowrun, GURPS, Earthdawn. I miss Earthdawn. Mech Warrior. Call of Cthulhu. Oh, I love Call of Cthulhu. And I could go on and on. Marvel Superheroes, Champions. I just picked up Icons, by the way, which is a pretty good superhero system. I'm going to do a review of that shortly. But I'm kind of getting a little off the path here, which, like I say, I do. But, my goal in this is that I want to show you an adventure. I showed you The Slumbering Tsar, that giant book. It's actually still over here. This giant monster adventure book, which I'm glad I own. Who knows if I'll ever run this, but like I've read, all of it now, and I've been picking through it, rereading it. And what I do with a lot of adventures is that I read the stuff that's in it, and then I take ideas from it, and then I use those ideas in my homebrew stuff. However, the thing I'm going to show you right now, which is, and I briefly kind of showed this to you when I did the other review, I'm going to be showing you the Lost City of Barakus. Or actually not really showing it to you, but I'm going to be talking about the Lost City of Barakus. Now this is the Pathfinder version of this. It can be purchased directly through the Frog God Games website. This was originally published by Necromancer Games. This is the old 3rd edition. This was published back in 2003. Interesting side note that you may or may not find interesting. I remember I purposely pre-ordered this. I didn't really pre-order, but I told my online game store, or not online, my local game store. I didn't really buy anything online back in the day, back in, well, over a decade now. But I remember I purposely said, can you get this game for me? Because I really wanted to check it out. And the price tag, $35, the $34.95, is still on the inside cover where they posted it there. And what is neat is that here we are, in 2015, and you can purchase this book, which is basically, well, it's not, they added more with this one, but you can purchase it for $35. It's like the same exact price. You can get it through the Frog God Games website, which I think is really cool. But regardless, the neat thing about, I apologize, this is $40. It's $5 more. I bought this and the Lost Lands, which is another thing I'll review for you here in the coming weeks. And that was $35. So I apologize. It's $5, but it's still $5 more. It's nothing. This is actually a few more pages long than this, but this has actually more material in it. And I was wondering how they managed to do it. It's like, this is like 10 more pages. And the thing about it is that the font in this book, there you go, and the font in this book, this font is much larger than the other one. And so, and this one had This one actually came with a big old map that you unfold and stuff like that. But I'm not talking about this older version. The thing about this older version, and I've run this dungeon twice. The thing is, like, when you have your own gaming group, you can't really run them through the same thing more than once, because they kind of say, okay, here's that room with the ogre hiding behind the pillar or whatever, you know, and so you can't run the same stuff. But this one I actually did run twice because I had two different gaming groups, and so when I was excited to actually, and I could have probably taken this and transferred the stuff over to the Pathfinder system, and pretty easily actually. But when I saw that this was available, and this had actually gone through Kickstarter, I saw that they had achieved so many goals in Kickstarter that they had added a bunch of new wilderness areas and more levels to the dungeon. And so I was like, well, I gotta have those, and because I'm a sucker for dungeon books. And the cool thing about the Lost City of Barakus is, well, first of all, two things here. You notice the difference in the covers. I always dislike this cover. Not that it doesn't look cool. It does. It looks freaking awesome. This undead king or sorcerer or something like that. But the players see this and they say, oh, so the big bad guy is like, what, a death knight? A lich? You know, some sort of skeletal warrior? Is that who we're going to fight at the very end? And you're like, you're not supposed to know that. So I like this one better because of the fact that here you have these adventures. This just speaks to me like untold adventure in the future. I mean, they're walking along this path, and this actually is accurately depicting the front doors of the Lost City of Barakus. The caves were once had this group of orcs that lived in them, and they used the caves to attack the surrounding areas. And eventually the people in the area got tired of having orcs come and kill them. And so the king and all these sent this army, basically, that went and bashed down these doors and went in and killed them all and cleaned out the caves. And this is like years in the past. And so you know, I dig that, like, this is like, oh look, you know, it's like you've come across this area. Here's their little halfling roguish or guys, and they're peering over the side. And then you have your classic wizard and mage, you know, staring at the door. You know, they're going to go in, but they're wondering what is there. Will they find riches? Will they find fame? Will they find their doom? You know, and so I like this cover better. Mostly because there's no spoiler alert, and also just because you know, the idea of the unknown is kind of neat. So the awesome thing about this is it isn't just a dungeon. There is one heck of an awesome dungeon in here that has multiple levels, an entire backstory, of course a big baddie waiting for them at the end, but there are tons of little in-stories in the dungeon itself, like there's a crazed disgraced paladin that on one level, there's a dragon on another level. Yeah, so I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on inside this dungeon. But besides just this dungeon, there is this wonderful area where it's an entire like little campaign area as well. It has this large city-state called Endhome that has all these mysteries and adventure hooks and things going on within that as well. It is a living, breathing city with multiple like temples and taverns and all kinds of intrigue and people that are you know, scary socialites that, you know, haven't been seen in years, you know, like, so what are they, you know, why don't they come out? Have they been murdered, or have they left? You know, stuff like all kinds of little mysteries that are going on within this world that isn't just in this dungeon. Plus there is like entire wilderness areas full of awesome little adventures all by themselves. A druid within the forest that if you can find, you can befriend, who will help you and aid you in some way, and gives you quests that you go and do things. Bandits hiding in the hills that there's a bounty for that you hunt down and kill or bring back to justice. You don't have to just go into this dungeon. And the cool thing about this is it really is for level 1 players. It's to get people from like level 1 to about level 5 or 6. And then they should have pretty much cleaned out the cave, pretty much scouted out and completed the entire area. And because this is in the Lost Lands, there's all kinds of different Lost Lands things that you can graduate to at that point. You could go to the slumbering city of Zar. You could go to Rapana Thuk. You could go to the Razor Coast. All these things are things that have created by Frog God Games. And they didn't send me any of this stuff. I purchased this. So if you think that I'm like just a sucker for them or something like that, I have been since they were Necromancer games. They write the best stuff for, at least the best stuff for me, my kind of D&D worlds that I enjoy. So and the cool thing is that you can actually drop this dungeon right into your world. You can drop the City of Endhome right in your world. You can just take it, you can take parts of it that you like and leave out the other parts and so forth. So, I'm going to take just a few moments. I've kind of talked on and on about it, but I'm going to take a few moments to kind of show you some of the pages within the book and just see what you're going to be getting. I won't take a long time to do that, but and then after I do that, we'll come back and I will tell you a little more, though I don't know what else I can really say. I've pretty much said everything, but I'll tell you a little bit more about what's in here that I like, and then you can decide whether or not it's something you want to pick up for your Pathfinder adventure. So, alright, there you go. Let's do this. Let's take a look inside the lost city of Barakus. This is the hardcover of the Lost Lands. You can see that is the location. The Lost Lands, just so I mentioned that a few times in this video, Lost Lands is Bill Webb's, one of the authors here, Bill Webb's world that he created and he played D&D in for many, many years. And as the years go by, he has created more and more of the stuff that he used to play in. He has actually taken all of his notes and his maps and what have you, and been publishing it, which is pretty cool, actually. And his goal over the next several years is to eventually publish everything of this giant world that he created over the past many decades, and put it out there for publishing. And I'm really excited to see how this grows and how it develops. It is published by Frog God Games, you can see, and also there's Necromancer Games logo on there. Necromancer Games was the company that came before Frog God. And my understanding is Necromancer Games is coming back. They are going to be publishing some 5th edition D&D stuff, which I think is pretty cool. So, I just turned to a random page in here just so you can see this is made in the classic 2-column style that most Dungeons & Dragons stuff comes out in these bigger, larger books, just for ease of use. It is they've been using the same font forever in everything that they've printed, and everything, the tables and everything are very well done. I've noticed a couple of typos here and there, but for the most part, this is a very well-researched and picked over production, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Maps, like here, you can see maps are very well done. They've done the kind of grayscale thing. I've always thought the maps that are included with Necromancer Games before, and also now with Frog God, are always well done. The maps have their locations. They actually say, like, this is Area K, this is like the Grimlock Caves. Hey, and if this is any of the people that I'm going to be putting through this adventure watching this, wipe this from your memory. But anyway, so like, you can see with the map, Area K, and then they have like K1, K2, K3, K4, K5 on these particular maps, and then they actually have like Area K5, the excavators, and then there's the challenge rating for that particular location. So it's a challenge rating 6. So if you're worried about experience points, or if it's too difficult for your adventures and what have you, that's what it includes. If you have things that you have to fight, like here's this monster called Agok, you probably can't really see that. He's kind of like the leader of the Grimlocks. They have the stat block right there. It isn't a situation where it's like, find the stat block on page 700 in the back. No, thank you, I don't want to do that. I want to have everything right there in front of me, and so I can take a look at it. The really nice thing is when you buy the book, you get the PDF, like I said. for free, and you can go through and you can find the maps, and you can just print all of those off, and just print off those particular pages, and then you have those maps, and those are kind of nice. Like one, what I do with a lot of the situations, we don't play a lot of grid combat when we play, so but I will like put the map. I have the maps printed off, and I put those out there so people can actually see them. And like I will go in and edit out the different areas, so they don't know. Okay, well, this is K1. What happens in here, kind of thing. And you can also go ahead and edit those as well with other things that I've like with any kind of Photoshop ability. You can even do it in Paint if you wanted to. So, but this book has tons of stuff going on. Great art. I love this picture. Basically, on the like, there's this dragon chasing down these people, and they're all running wisely, running away from the dragon. I love that picture. There's like little tiny sidebars like this, the language of Barakus, because they're gonna find weird language that trying to figure out how it's how to read it and things like that. The really nice thing, like I said, like it gives you a campaign world to put your people in. And I'm of course going to dig around and try to find the map, and I should have... yes. There's a wonderful map that you can just drop this in, and this is actually in the Lost Lands world. You can actually get maps of the Lost Lands on the website from Frog God Games. But this is the world you can have. Here's the ocean. There's the city of Endhome. Here is... the Fool's Pass, which goes through the Duskmoon Hills, and up here somewhere is the dungeon. Here's this big, large Penfrey forest that is supposedly haunted. All kinds of great things going on within that. So you have this wonderful little map there. And then now you have this great map of Endhome. And all, large city-state with, walled city, alongside a river, classic adventure style. And like as I said, Endhome has like the first you before you even get to the dungeon, you think, okay, this is about the lost city of Barakus. Let's the dungeon, if I remember correctly, doesn't actually show up until page 93 of the book, and this is about a 200-page book. So half of this book is all of that city, the campaign world, the different wilderness areas, the different wilderness encounters, all that information, which is great. Tons of backstory, tons of, and the thing is, it's just fun to read, which is a hallmark of Necromancer Games Adventure. But now you have the different levels, and there are, if I remember, 5 or 6 levels. I don't want to give anything away in case you're a player or whatever. But like, there are several levels to the dungeon, all kinds of cool encounters, random encounters, wandering monster, this big giant, cool map. Players, please take this out of your memory, but look at this giant map for the first level of the dungeon. And that, and it's just, it not only does it look cool, but one of the things I really loved about it was there's 2 entrances to the dungeon. So it's one of those things where, oh, okay, well, we're gonna, go, in over here, or you can go in over there, depending on which one they find. And depending on which one they find, they're gonna run into different encounters. And perhaps they even, like, they find this entrance, and they go in here, and all of a sudden, later on, they find this entrance, and they think it's an entirely different cave. And all of a sudden, they're wandering around, they finally get to this area, like, wait a minute, this looks a lot like the last place we were at. And that's actually happened in one of my adventures, which I thought was really, really cool. But the dungeon is very well laid out. It makes sense. The ecology of the dungeon, as far as the different people that live within it. Not everything within the dungeon is just there to kill you either. There's wonderful traps. There's wonderful tricks and puzzles. And I can't speak enough. It is really well written, and it's going to be one of those particular places that your players are going to visit repeatedly over the course of many sessions. And when they finally take care of the big baddie at the bottom, it's going to be one of those things that is going to be epic, and it's going to be awesome. And they're going to can't wait until they graduate from this and go on to bigger and better things. So. I'm going to tell you exactly why I like this particular campaign sourcebook / dungeon a little more, and I'll do that in my conclusion right now. If you watch my videos on board games, you aren't going to catch me flipping my books around, because I like keeping my books in very pristine order. So this is about the closest you're going to get. But there you go. You saw some of the art, some of the maps, and some of the adventure hooks that you'll be able to use if you purchase this. I should mention that you can actually just purchase the PDF for this as well. And if you purchase the book, you get the PDF for free. So that, but I'm not a big PDF guy. I like having the book in my hand. I like, smelling the smell of the book when you crack it open, and I like being able to see the things in print in front of me. I guess I'm just old or something. And I should also mention that it does come. It comes in Pathfinder Edition, but it does also come in the Swords and Wizardry game that is kind of like a more of a first edition D&D type game. So so you can get either version if you so desire. So as far as there's the one thing that I with D&D that is always kind of difficult is that it's tough as far as levels go. Like literally I feel the first through 6th levels are like probably the most fun for when you play. I'm not a big power gamer. I'm not a big guy like, oh, once I get to 11th level then I can cast Disintegrate. I mean that's not me. I've kind of grown out of that. I like it when I'm challenged by things, and that like being a 3rd level fighter and actually taking out like 25 hobgoblins or something like that. That to me is kind of epic. Just like cutting through them all kind of thing, and actually like worrying about whether or not they're going to do enough damage to take me out. I enjoy that kind of stuff. I've always felt that once the wizard can cast Fireball, the game kind of starts to decline at that point, because now you have your nuke, you have your big giant and you can just blow everybody up. And whereas I understand that like when everybody who plays the mage, you're kind of living for that moment. It bothers me. I mean, the thing is that what always bothered me is like, okay, so goblins and orcs and what have you. They know the guys in robes have the ability to kill all of them with like one point of their finger, right? So there's absolutely no reason why humanoids, should at least a couple of them have to live, right? And then tell everybody, yeah, so if you see a guy that isn't wearing armor and he's in the back, everybody disperse and get out of the way. Don't line up in a single line so a lightning bolt can kill all of you. Don't cluster up in little 20 by 20 groups and let somebody drop a big giant ball of flame on top of your heads. Spread out. Shoot that guy. But for whatever reason, it's just like we just constantly feed that wizard those just big giant balls of experience points, basically. And the thing is that if you actually do go out of your way to make sure that they spread out and don't set themselves up to be able to destroy it, then the person playing the wizard usually gets kind of upset because, well, I'm useless. What am I supposed to do? Just cast magic missile over and over again? So, but that's just me. That's kind of an aside, totally, and what have you. So, the point of this is that the cool thing about this is that it is a perfect way to introduce your players to your world. You can take the city of Endholm and you can make that their base of operations. They're gonna meet influential NPCs within that city. They're going to make friends. They're going to make enemies, and there's tons of things within this book that you can use to have great adventures. But there are places that like basically they shouldn't go. There's like there's monsters within the hills to the north that will flat out kill them if they go find them, and they're in the book. But smart parties are going to have to learn to run away when they see things like giant trees being knocked over, or like they come across a tomb that has a dead half giant or ogre lying in the doorway. You're gonna say, okay, whatever is in there killed that guy. Let's go the other way. But the foolhardy party that says, okay, onward, and then you hand them their new player character sheets after the battle is over rather quickly. And what did we learn? And then you start up again. for all those reasons and the stuff I said in the introduction, you can't go wrong. This is, without a doubt, if it's not the #1 best first level adventure campaign world / dungeon / wilderness area, what have you, then it's dang near close. And the thing is that the only one that really comes close in my mind so far is the actual Lost Lands book that was put out by Frog God Games as well, which I said I'm going to do a review of here in the near future as well. So, but I enjoy this one immensely. I would invite you to go and read up on it. There's tons of reviews out there for it already, and if you think you want to have it and play it and put your player characters through it as the DM, I would strongly suggest that you go ahead and pick up the book or pick up the PDF and have that ready next time you guys get together for your next session. I will say this: if you're a player and you want to be challenged, this would make an excellent gift for your dungeon master, and say, here, I got you this, and don't read it, but I got you this, read this through, put me and your buddies through this adventure, and let's see how far we get. So, all right, cool. Well, if you have any questions about this new role-playing game thing that I'm doing, or any suggestions as to things you'd like me to review, please post those and let me know. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, you have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye now.